Here we go then for the final time in 2023. Junior Rotax, the rerun of their final that was red flagged after only 3 laps earlier on today. And we will have a complete rerun of Junior Rotax. Thank you to everyone that's got in touch in the live chat comments. Nigel Fabricius saying what a fab day for the 90 and 91 for the Fabricius family. Sydney as well saying good luck to all the Mighty drivers. Martin Lloyd saying good luck to Ethan. That'd be Ethan Lloyd as well. And Forbes Nichols saying go on Ralphie. And support coming as well from Nicholas Anser. So we have our grid then for Junior Rotax. Ollie Naylor and James Waring go off the front row. Hamish Forrest and Jason Duckis on row number 2. Harry Hurst-Grover and Melissa Adrian on row number 3. Then it's Martin Wright and Callum Foster, Archie Dyson and Emily Cooper in front of Marcel Popical and Anthony Witowski on row number 6. Then it's Joshua Jarvis and Ethan Bath with Sam Stoner and Rhys Owen on row number 8. Jack Dimbleby and Miles Robey on row 9. Row 10 sees Christian Stefanos and James Kell round out the top 20 in front of Ollie Paul and Ellis Garrett, with Harrison Purnell and Maya Simpson on row number 12. Row 13, Amelie Ackitts and Frankie Smedley, Jacob Anslow and Archie Carter behind. Molly Pugh and Harrison Bishop take up position on row 15 in front of Archie Doherty, Kieran Thompson and Ewan Stevenson on row number 17. Juniors already out and heading towards the boot. Getting themselves into position. Trying to figure out where some of our runners are. That's not quite the grid order that we've just run through, because that's Hamish Forrest and Ollie Naylor at the front, with Jason Duckis further back. So not sure whether we've had a bit of a technical, but we've got Emily Cooper on the 3rd row alongside Callum Foster. Nonetheless, we will won't make any difference by the time they go round the first corner anyway, because they'll all be in a different order. Red lights on the overhead, red lights out on the overhead, and Hamish Forrest steals the march on the field. He's down the inside of Ollie Naylor into the first corner, as those on the outside finding it a little bit difficult. We've got 1 or 2 spinners already on the outside. Pick out the number in a few moments' time as they run up towards Christmas corner. It looks a lot drier up the top end here, up at Christmas, though the uphill helps as well in terms of braking as they head down towards Ashby. This is where the drivers found it very difficult last time, and round goes the 31 of Archie Dyson. Few other drivers collecting as well. That's the 15 involved of Harrison Bishop. The 64 is Jack Dimbleby. Dimbleby's out and trying to push the cart, and wide goes Jason Duckis, but I don't think that was all by himself. Arm off the wheel, gesticulating to another driver, but Jason Duckis clearly not happy, being forced wide at Osiers. At the front though, we've had a big change for the lead. Crossing the line is going to be Harry Hurst-Grover, leading from Hamish Forrest and James Waring, with Ollie Naylor in 4th place, Callum Foster P5. Then it's going to be Emily Cooper P5, not picking up I don't think on timing, with Callum Foster, Marcel Popical, Melissa Adrian and Martin Wright. In P9, Anthony Witowski in front of Joshua Jarvis and Christian Stefanovs. Was running out wide onto the outside there, the 95 of Hamish Forrest. Harry Hurst-Grover looking over his shoulder, having a look at the back at the rest of the field. Leading then from Forrest, Waring, Naylor and Callum Foster. Was 0.5 of a second quicker on the previous lap than Hamish Forrest. Callum Foster is off wide, and his chances of second place in the championship appear to be dwindling. He's been swamped up by the field, and it's going to be outside the top 10. He was in P number 6 on the previous lap. I think we're going to find him well down the order now. Popical up into P5. Right then, Adrian Witowski, Rhys Owen and Emily Cooper dropping heavily as well. On that previous lap, Cooper dropping a handful of places. 7 for Cooper, 8 for Callum Foster, and they were running fairly close to each other as well. So may well be that those two have come together. Harry Hurst-Grover at the front with a gap of 1.4 seconds from Hamish Forrest and James Waring. Ollie Naylor and Marcel Popical round out your top 5. 4 seconds splitting them as the top 3 move away, and Popical challenging Ollie Naylor for 4th place. So they head into the boot. Behind them as well, that's Martin Wright in the 41, not too far back in the green and white Tony Kart colours. Warning for Jason Douglas as he comes back through the field. He's currently in 13th place, or at least he was on the previous lap. We've got 2 or 3 off there. The 25 is off. That's Kieran Thompson on the outside. Another driver off as well. I think that could have been, well, we'll pick it out in a few moments because they'll be dropping down the order and we'll be able to pick them up. But I think it could have been Archie Doherty. At the front now, Harry Hurst-Grover had a 1 second gap, but Hamish Forrest seems to be a little bit closer now to Harry Hurst-Grover than what he was on the previous lap, whether Hurst-Grover's gone high on tyre pressures to try and get the front early, and then his job then will be to hold on. We'll see whether he can do. But Hamish Forrest is starting to come towards the front here. Gap was a second, it's down to 3/10, and Forrest sets the fastest lap, the first driver to go sub 1 minute, 59.983. But then he goes wide into the first corner, carries too much speed, and James Kell is through and up, James Waring, is through up into 2nd place. And then Hamish Forrest and Kell almost come together at the top of the hill. That's not what teammates want to be doing. So they run down the hill, having a quick look. It was Callum Foster drops 4 places, 12th down to 16th on that previous lap. It was Archie Doherty who was off with Kieran Thompson on the outside of Oziers earlier on, their 30th and 31st respectively at present. Hurst-Grover will have the gap of around about a second back at the end of this lap, I think. Warning for Emily Cooper in the 30. James Waring up into 2nd place now. Harry Hurst-Grover, the gap 6/10. Hamish Forrest, having made that mistake on the previous lap, having previously set the fastest lap of the race only a few moments before, has now found himself down in 3rd place behind James Kell. Kell on the previous lap 2/10 quicker than Harry Hurst-Grover. Marcel Popical in 5th place sets the fastest lap. Now Joshua Jarvis gets a warning, unspecified as to what for. If it was track limits, we'd normally see track limits, so I think that might be for a little bit of contact. Harry Hurst-Grover to the inside, taking a differing line to James Waring. Waring closing in 0.6 of a second on the previous lap. Now it's about 6 inches off the back of Harry Hurst-Grover as they got onto the brakes, differing lines. Yellow flag out at the final corner as Naylor seems to have managed to pull away from Marcel Popical. James Waring with the fastest lap. Now there's some lap traffic in front for the leaders to negotiate. That's Archie Dyson in the 51, and Dyson sensibly moves out of the way and allows the leading trio of karts to come through down the inside. Ollie Naylor now with the fastest lap with a 59.1. Time starting to tumble as the track dries here at Whilton Mill. And this could well just be coming back towards Ollie Naylor. 0.6 quicker than your race leader, Harry Hurst-Grover. James Waring and Hamish Forrest. Warning for Callum Foster in the 69 machine, currently running in 18th place. His nearest championship rival for P2. This one already wrapped up by Kasper Tomilewski at Clay Pigeon. It was Harry Hurst-Grover, and Harry Hurst-Grover is currently leading this race at the moment. Jason Duckis battling it out with Sam Stoner in front of him, and just behind in the 42 is Ellis Garrett, making their way up towards the left hand. Mechanical flag for Archie Doherty. He'll be called into pit lane. You'll see it on the overhead gantry. But Archie Doherty's race and season over with a few laps to go. Wide goes Ellis Garrett. Martin Wright now with the fastest lap of the race in 5th place. He's found a way past Marcel Popical for P number 5, right up into 5th. Leaders pulling away now from Hamish Forrest with Harry Hurst-Grover leading from James Waring. More lap traffic coming up in front of them as they approach the 57 of Ewan Stevenson. Kieran Thompson just in front as well. He's had an excursion off earlier on. So Hurst-Grover looking over the shoulder. James Waring riding shotgun at the moment, but still 4 minutes to go. We've still got a third of this race as we're 3 wide up towards Osiers. Sam Stoner looks like his rear bumper's detached, unfortunately for Stoner. We'll get confirmation in a few moments if we can get more camera time on the back of that 38, but Sam Stoner's rear bumper detached from the back, and he's going to be another one whose race and season is going to be over before the checkered flag. Martin right now with the fastest lap of the race as the leaders make their way through. There's Sam Stoner's rear bumper dragging. You can actually see the plug that goes in to the back of the chassis hanging out onto the floor, and Sam Stoner will have seen that mechanical flag, currently still racing on towards the checker, but knows that his race, whether he wants to or not, is going to be over, and now he's going to be able to feel it. That rear bumper just dragging and hanging off the back of the cart, looks down, and you can just see there, gives up the ghost, takes his foot off the throttle, arm up in the air. He's going to let the rest of the field come through. Sam Stoner then peels off and parks the cart sensibly out of the way, stops it rolling as well. And the rear bumper detached from the back of Sam Stoner. Disappointment for him. 3 minutes to go in this race. Season over. At the front though, Harry Hurst-Grover, James Waring, Hamish Forrest was in third, still is, but look at that Ollie Naylor. That cart clearly set up for the end of this race. Looked like we had a driver off there on entry to Christmas, which was why Ollie Naylor didn't pull out and make the overtaking opportunity. Jason Duck, his fastest lap of the race, P8 at the moment as he starts coming back through the field. Yellow flag out at Marshall post 6. Not sure if that's for Stoner's cart, although that is safely out of the way. Nope, we've got a cart on the inside, spun off the racing line, but nonetheless, still yellow flag conditions. 2 minutes and 15, we're back to full green racing once again then. As that's Marcel Popocull, a tough weekend for him. He's had some good pace, not quite the look that it's deserved, and he is out and classified well outside the top 20. We've had Popocull, Stoner, Anslow, Thompson, all at the moment. We'll wait for a few more to come through because I think that Anslow will go up to 26th. He does. Then we're going to have Thompson and Stevenson up as well into 28th. That's the 28 runners that we've got remaining. The top 4 now, still nose to tail at the moment. Hurst-Grover, Waring, Forrest and Naylor. Down the hill they go. Naylor, the only one of these 3 that's won a final in this championship. Hurst-Grover, not won one. Waring, not won one. Don't think either of them two have won a heat, let alone a final, and they're battling right at the front. James Waring goes wide and onto the curb. Hamish Forrest is back through then into second place. There's Ewan Stevenson's cart parked up on the outside. Marshall pushing that one, or will be pulling it to safety in a few moments' time. Forrest goes slightly wide, sliding. 1 minute to go, and they're lapping in the 58, so they should get round for 2 more laps. After this one, because they'll have that and then the last lap. Here comes Ollie Naylor down the inside into Christmas corner, hard on the brakes, gets it stopped. Through up into third place. Another fastest lap for Duckis. A race of what could have been had he not been on the grass earlier on. Naylor down the inside of Hamish Forrest. They're sliding side by side. Naylor's going to be on the outside. Don't think he's going to get the drive. Cuts back to the inside. Ollie Naylor through. Stationary yellow though on the post. Don't know why, because I'm not sure what we've got coming up here. No yellow flag out at post 8 though. Don't know what there. It was a stationary yellow, but no yellow flag out at post 8. Naylor though down the inside of Hamish Forrest. Sure, I'd seen a yellow at that post. We'll leave that one for people far higher up than me to figure out after the race anyway. Down to 0, but they've already crossed over the line. At the moment, Harry Hurst-Grover leading by 0.4 of a second. More lap traffic in front. Ollie Naylor up into second place. Hamish Forrest in P3. James Waring P4. Martin Wright, Melissa Adrian, Jason Duckis and Maya Simpson. Ellis Garrett waved yellow at Marshall post 5. No overtaking there then. So we've got a cart going slowly on exit. I think that's the 29 of Jacob Anslow. Right up on the back of Harry Hurst-Grover now though. is Ollie Naylor. Hurst-Grover to the inside. Naylor taking a wider line round the outside. They'll slot back in as they make their way through the lap traffic. Jacob Anslow pointing through to the field. They'll see the last lap board in a few moments' time. Down the inside they go. Harry Hurst-Grover parking the kart on the apex. For one final lap here then of 2023. Junior Rotax entertainers. Harry Hurst-Grover, Ollie Naylor, Hamish Forrest, James Waring battling it out for the victory. Run up towards Christmas corner. Hurst-Grover should have enough to hold off at least for this corner, but he's slow on exit. Ollie Naylor, track limit warning for Harry Hurst-Grover. Caution to the window being thrown. Defending off to the inside. Naylor's going to try and get the cutback. Naylor's through on the final lap. Ollie Naylor, Harry Hurst-Grover's back down the inside into Wilkins. Who's going to win out on this one? Waring's down the inside of both Naylor and Hamish Forrest as well. Running up towards the boot. Naylor's back up into third. Forrest in fourth. Waring runs wide up into second only briefly. Hard on the brakes they go. Harry Hurst-Grover holding off the pack behind. Can Naylor get the run out of the final corner? Oversteer. Drag race to the line. Hurst-Grover takes victory by less than a tenth for the first time in the Junior Kart Championship from Ollie Naylor, Hamish Forrest, James Waring and Martin Wright, your top five. What a show from Junior Rotax, the top four, split by 7/10 of a second. Duckis once again with the fastest lap on the final lap in P7 in front of Cooper, Simpson and Ellis Garrett. We'll wait for the rest of the field to come through here then in Junior Rotax. There is Harry Hurst-Grover. He must have a heart rate like a drum and bass record after that final few laps, having to hold on from Ollie Naylor, Hamish Forrest and James Waring. Every single one of them putting the stamp down, wanting to take the victory at the end of the race. All of the field through now, so we'll go to our results. We're just going to wait. We'll have a quick look down the chicken run, make sure we've got no infringements for our front runners. And just checking some rear widths, because with the wets they've got to be outside the line of the side pod. Looks like we're clear for the top two. Hamish Forrest, they've had a look down, they're clear as well and pointed through into scrutineering, so it looks like the top three are clear and no drop downs as well. So we'll go to our results. Harry Hurst-Grover, for the first time in the JKC, takes the race victory in the final from Ollie Naylor and Hamish Forrest, with James Waring and Martin Wright, your top five. Melissa Adrian's in sixth in front of Jason Duckis and Emily Cooper, with Maya Simpson and Ellis Garrett rounding out your top 10. 11th, it's Anthony Witowski in front of Christian Stefanovs and Reese Owen. Callum Foster in 14th in front of James Kell. Then it's going to be Miles Robey, Archie Dyson and Amelie Ackett, with Ethan Bath and Jack Dimbleby. Then it's Harrison Bishop in 21st, Joshua Jarvis and Harrison Purnell, with Molly Pugh and Kieran Thompson in 25th. Jacob Anslow is your final runner on track that sees the checkered flag, with Frankie Smedley, Ewan Stevenson, Marcel Poppercull, Sam Stoner, Archie Dyson and Ollie Poole not seeing the checkered flag. A few retirees at the end of that one.